So welcome to this video. We're gonna pick 21st century Test 11s because mostly what happens is that when you pick a greatest Test 11 or all the all-star Test 11s that you see, they're mostly overpowered by 20th century cricketers. And while they were great, they were absolutely great and probably the legends of the game. But sometimes because of that, we try to undermine the players who we have seen play live, and they also are great enough to come into any such 11s. So we are specifically making 21st century 11s. We are going to make 9 11s, 9 featuring all the test nations. I would say the first 11 that we are going to make is not of one specific test nation, but it's a combined 11. So I'll directly show you which teams are going to feature in that. So I'm going to use the ESPN Cricket Info website for it and the Stats Guru option, which is just exceptional compilation of all the data that you need. So we're going to specify, we're going to go for advanced filter, then we're going to select the teams first. So this is the teams that I'm going to select: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Ireland and Zimbabwe. We know Ireland and Afghanistan haven't played a lot, but there is a reason why I'm picking them yet. I'll show you. Now we're going to select the time. It's the 21st century that we're talking about. So the 21st century, it begins from 2001, 1st Jan, and ends. There is a lot of time to end. So here we go. The most run scorers in the 21st century for these countries. Tamim Iqbal, he makes to the team directly, opening batsman, the finest opening batsman out of these countries in this specific period. Tamim Iqbal averages 39 900s and his strike rate as well, 57. Not that it matters a lot in test matches, but he plays in the subcontinent, so in subcontinent having a good strike rate means something for sure. Then there's Mushfiqur Rahim, who I want to pick as a genuine batsman and not as a wicket-keeper batsman. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you later. So Tamim Iqbal, I've picked Tamim Iqbal, I've picked Mushfiqur Rahim, Lord Mushi as we call him with fondness. Shakib Al Hasan definitely walks into this 11. He's in the team as well, but he's in the all-rounder spot. We need 5 batters. So we have 2 batters and Shakib Al Hasan, 3. Mominul Haq, yes, surely the batsman, averages 42, strike rate of 54, most hundreds out of these players, 11 hundreds in this period of 21st century. So we have 3 batters now and Shakib Al Hasan. Habibul Bashar averages 30. That isn't that great, though interestingly he has a good strike rate. He was a very defensive batsman in ODI cricket, but he has a decent strike rate in test matches. But I'm not going to pick Habibul Bashar, or I'm not going to pick Mohammedullah either. Mohammad Ashraful as well, 24 batting average, not going to pick him. Brendan Taylor, I want to pick Brendan Taylor, averages 34, has 6 centuries to his name, 171 is highest score. We know he's been very important to the Zimbabwe team over the years. So we have picked 4 batsmen now: Tamim Iqbal, Mushfiqur Rahim, Mominul Haq and Brendan Taylor. The 5th batsman that I'm going to pick, who has played less cricket in this century, but we know he was a legend, he's Andy Flah. Here we go, Andy Flah. He averages the most. He's scored over 1000 runs yet. Even after playing only 15 test matches, he averages 53, 300, 6 half centuries. And he used to play as a wicket-keeper batsman, but I'm going to pick him as a batsman, and I'm going to tell you the reason for it is that I don't think there is any other batsman in this team who can walk into this team as a pure batsman and who's great enough to be in this 11. I don't see Habibul Bashar to be that good enough, or Mohammedullah, or Hamilton Masakadza, or Imrul Kais, or anyone else, or Craig Irvine, who have played a little cricket, who have played some cricket, averages 35, Craig Irvine. Then there is Sean Williams, who has recently been doing well. He averages 41, but he has a long way to go still, Sean Williams. So that is the reason why I'm going to instead pick a wicket-keeper who I think deserves to be in this 11, was a very important player of his team, that is Tatenda Taibu, not Khalid Mashud. So he averaged 30 with the bat. He scored 112 half centuries, but he was really important in that period, in 2000s especially. He was a very important player of that side, and he gave some competition to the opponents, both as a wicket keeper and captain as well as batsman. Tatenda Taibu is my pick as the wicket keeper batsman of this team. So we have picked the 5 batters and we have picked Tatenda Taibu. And now we are going to pick the bowlers. Out of them, one we know, Shakib Ul Hasan qualifies as an all-rounder. And then we're going to pick 4 other bowlers. Shakib Ul Hasan, obviously. We can know about their batting attributes as well, and so we can select the all-rounder option, so we can have both the attributes of the bowlers, their batting as well as their bowling attributes. We'll sort the results by the number of wickets taken. Yeah. So we need 5 bowlers. We have Shakib Ul Hasan already, so we need 4 bowlers more. Shakib Ul Hasan, 210 wickets, the best bowler in this out of these teams. Terrific bowling average, a lot of 5-wicket hauls as well. Exceptional cricketer in general, can walk into any 11. Shakib Ul Hasan and Andy Flood, these are the 2 cricketers in this 11 who can walk into just any all-time 11, even a greatest all-time test 11. Shakib Ul Hasan can walk into it as a great test bowling all-rounder, and Andy Flood can walk into it even as a batsman, but firstly as a wicket-keeper batsman. But if we have selected him, we have selected him as a batsman. So the 5 bowlers, Taijul Islam is an option, who is a left-arm spinner. He averages 32. Mehdi Hassan Miraz, another right-arm off spinner and can bat a bit, scored 100, averages 20. Averages 34 with the ball. Has taken 7 5-wicket hauls. So these are good options, but my second option is the first seamer that I'm going to take. Heath Streak, 29 matches, 78 wickets, 28 with the batting average. His batting average scored 100, and we all know, was a great all-rounder for Zimbabwe. And he was also a very responsible captain for Zimbabwe. So he's my pick as the second bowler. Heath Streak, Shakib Ul Hasan, 2 down. Then I'm going to take another seamer, and that is Kyle Jarvis for me. 13 matches, 46 wickets. See the bowling averages. He has the better bowling average among all the others who surround him there. 29.43. Here we go. He's got 3 5-wickets, 3 5-wicket haul as well. So Kyle Jarvis, Heath Streak, Shakib Ul Hasan, 2 more. The next pacer that I'm gonna take on more. I'm going more about. I'm thinking about more of reputation now than stats, because we don't have a really good seamer who can walk into this 11. There is Andy Blignott, who could be considered, but he was an all-rounder and he bowled a little. He got 3 5-wicket hauls, but his bowling average isn't that good. As you know, Andy Blignott he just played a few test matches where he was at his best. After that, he lost his pace. He was quick when he came out. But it was his batting that was his defining moment, and he didn't bat enough in test matches. He just scored 800 runs and 26 is his batting average, so that's not enough to justify. So I'm avoiding Andy Blignott. Instead, I'm taking for someone who is very promising, and we all like him in the white ball cricket, Mustafizur Rahman. He has played 14 test matches, 30 wickets, bowling average of 36, but I still prefer him or other options that I have. Abu Zaid is another Bangladeshi bowler, recent bowler we have seen him bowl, but I'm still going for the left and right combination. So Mustafizur Rahman is my seamer, is my second seamer, third seamer in fact. Heath Streak, Kyle Jarvis and Mustafizur Rahman, my 3 seamers, and Shakib Ul Hasan is my spinner. And the bowler that I'm looking for, the 5th bowler that I'm looking for, is another similar reputation guy, but who has exceptional performance in whatever few test matches that he's played. And the reason why I picked Afghanistan among the teams is Rashid Khan. 5 test matches, 34 wickets, already has taken 4 5-wicket haul, and he bowling averages of 22. That is just exceptional. I would say he's beginning on the same tempo as how he played in T20Is and ODI cricket, and I think he's going to have a great test career as well. He's going to easily pick 250 wickets or something at the end of his career, and he's going to be considered a great test cricketer as well. Rashid Khan is my pick for the 5th bowler in this team. So we can space the team now. We can write the team down and see how it looks like. So Tamim Iqbal is our first opening batsman. Followed by, we have picked a lot of batters, but the batsman that I'm preferring to open with is Brendan Taylor. Followed by 1 down is Mominul Haq. We saw he averages 42 in test matches. He's done well in home conditions. My number 4 batsman is Andy Flood, who we have picked as a genuine batsman and not as a wicket-keeper batsman. Now my number 5 batsman, again another batsman that we have picked as a genuine batsman, and that is Mushfiqur Rahim. At number 6 we're going to have Shakib Ul Hasan. He can be 6 or he can be 5, it doesn't matter. At number 7, we're going to have Tatenda Taibu, who is our specialist wicketkeeper, because we know he deserves to be in a great 11 rather than any other extra batsman that we could have picked here, and we could have made Mushfiqur Rahim the keeper or Andy Flower the keeper. But we have preferred that every cricketer who comes into this 11 is a deserving cricketer and justifies his position. Then we're going to pick up the all-rounder, Heat Streak, and at number 9, we're going to have Rashid Khan, and the two seamers, Kyle Jarvis and Mustafizur Rahman. So I think it's a very strong 11. It's a very strong test 11. Tamim Iqbal, Brendan Taylor, Mominul Haq. There is a good left and right combinations there. Two left-handers in the middle order, 3 and 4. An opening batsman is a left-hander. A lot of variety in the bowling attack as well. Two high-quality spin bowlers. Two very different spin bowlers from each other. And then there's Mustafizur Rahman, who brings a lot of variety in bowling. Each trigger traditional swing bowler and fast medium bowler. Kyle Jarvis, who used to bowl a lot of outswing. I think he bowled good outswing. Kyle Jarvis is more of a hit the deck kind of a bowler, but we have seen him do well in the recent Test matches that he's played for Zimbabwe. So we have to pick a captain for this team. I think it's Heat Streak. I think Heat Streak captained a lot of matches for Zimbabwe in early 2000s. And out of the Bangladeshis, we had a few options, like we had Mushfiqur Rahim, or we had Shakibul Hasan, but we have always seen that it's been Mushraf Mortaza, who hasn't done quite well in Test matches as a bowler, who's considered a better captain in Bangladesh. So since we don't have him in the 11, we are preferring Heat Streak here as the captain. So this is our first 11. It's the combined 11. It's a combined 11. Since we don't have anyone from Afghanistan, we're not gonna. No one from Ireland. We're not gonna name them in the 11, in the title of the 11. So this is Zimbabwe, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan combined 11. The first of the 9 11s that we're gonna pick in the 21st century edition. Now the second 11. Let's try the second 11 that we're gonna pick in this video first. We're gonna make 3 videos. So we're gonna pick 3 11s in this video, and then 3 in the other ones. It's the West Indies team that I'm trying out right now. It's a very interesting team for the 21st century. So we're going to see the stats now. So let's see. So it's easy. It's easy to change that now. Just have to change the countries and nothing else, and everything else remains the same. We have selected the date already. So here we go. West Indies, 21st century days. Highest run scorers. His first name is Shiv Chandapal, the obvious one. He gets in, walks into the team very easily. Shiv Chandapal, 9,000 runs, 55 is batting average, 28 centuries. That's a lot of centuries. 45 half centuries. Chandapal, Chris Gale, he will be our opening batsman. Brian Lara obviously walks in, 59. That's a tremendous batting average. I think he was really in good touch in Test matches in his ending years than his earlier years, because I remember in the 90s he was excellent, but his batting average was around like 50 or less than that somehow. But his ending years he was in exceptional form in Test matches. So we have 3 of them we have selected. Ramnaresh Sarwan also, I think, easily walks into this team. 40 is batting average. So we have gone for 4 batters already. There's Craig Brathwaite, who I think I am considering as an opening batsman, because there are not a lot of opening batsmen here to accompany Chris Gale. We can go for Sarwan opening with Chris Gale, but I think Craig Brathwaite has been really good for West Indies for some time. He needs to be better though. Batting average of 33 for a batsman of his caliber is a little less. The other competition that he has is probably Marlon Samuels, who averages 32, and DM Bravo, that is Darren Bravo, 36. So we see, but again, Darren Bravo has been an exceptional disappointment for West Indies, I would say. And if you compare him with Craig Brathwaite has been more responsible and has been doing better than that. These numbers do suggest that he averages better than Craig Brathwaite by 3 runs, but I still think that Craig Brathwaite is more important to to the West Indies team right now, and he plays as an opening batsman, and not just right now, but overall in their whole entire careers. So I'm considering Craig Brathwaite as the fifth batsman, but again, I'm not gonna select five batsmen here. I'm gonna select six batsmen because I know that I know that there are two bowlers who can make up for the fifth bowler here. One is Chris Gayle. Obviously, he can make up for this fifth bowler. He can bowl a few. And the another one is the interesting person here. He didn't play a lot of test matches during that time. Carl Hooper, 22 test matches, 233 is highest score, 45 is batting average, 400s. And if you remember, Carl Hooper, this was the golden phase of Carl Hooper's career, because throughout the 90s, Carl Hooper was always considered a great wide ball cricketer. With the ball as well as with the bat, but in test matches most of the times he was considered a disappointment in the West Indies team because he wasn't consistent in test matches. But it was during this last phase of his career, where he was the captain of the West Indies team, that his batting really flourished and he was more comfortable, and him and Shiv Chanderpaul, that partnership for West Indies was really fruitful. I remember they defeated India in a home series, which was really a difficult series for India. It was West Indies was really outplaying India in that series, and it was Brian Lara, I think, did feature, or I don't remember if he did feature or didn't, but it was Carl Hooper and Shiv Chanderpaul who were the real standouts in that series against India. So I'm selecting Carl Hooper in the team as the sixth batsman, and together Carl Hooper and Chris Gayle will make up for the fifth bowler that I'm thinking about. So we have six batsmen done. The wicket-keeper batsman again is Ridley Jacobs. Is a very obvious choice there. He averages 31. Didn't play a lot of test matches during that period, but still good enough. 40 test matches I think are enough. The other option we have is Dinesh Ramdin, who I think was not quite as good as a batsman or even as a wicket-keeper than Ridley Jacobs was. So it's an easy choice. So we have six batsmen and Ridley Jacobs done. And now we'll check out the all-rounder or bowlers with their batting attributes. It means we're just gonna sort them out with the number of wickets that they've taken. Here we go. The two are obvious walk-ins here. The two cricketers who walk in easily in this team is Kemar Roach, 214 wickets at an exceptional bowling average of 27, and he has a very good strike rate as well. Then there is Shannon Gabriel, who also easily walks into this 11, 157 wickets. And obviously Jason Holder also walks into this 11 with very easily. The all-rounder Jason Holder, and who is currently, I would say, one of the finest cricketers playing Test cricket. Jason Holder, 33 is his batting average. It's got 300s, and 300 is an 8-5 wicket haul. That is a tremendous combination, I would say. He is a genuine all-rounder, Jason Holder. Not just a bowling all-rounder, but he's very important to the team as a batsman. So I think this is a good benefit to have, and the reason why I picked an extra batsman, the reason for that is that West Indies doesn't really have, apart from these three bowlers that I've mentioned now, Kemar Roach, Shannon Gabriel and Jason Holder, if you see the other bowlers they're not really exceptional in this period. So that is the reason why I wanted an extra batsman. Instead of having a bowler who is not up to the mark, not qualified enough to be in this 11, we should rather prefer making a team that every player should deserve to be in the 11, and hence I thought that Craig Brathwaite, especially, he was the defining decision to be taken, because Carl Hooper definitely would have walked into this 11. But should I take a genuine opening batsman like Craig Brathwaite, or should I make someone else open along with Chris Gayle, and then go for another fast bowler or another bowler, spinner, all-rounder? But I've preferred taking Craig Brathwaite and drop a bowler instead, because the bowlers I don't think are up to the mark. We see Jerome Taylor, his bowling average is 34, and he wasn't that good. Same with Fiddle Edwards. He was taking wickets, but he wasn't really benefiting team with it. We see 12 5-wicket hauls. He did got a lot of 5-wicket hauls, but he was very expensive. He wasn't consistent. That bowling average says all that. 37. Merv Dillon was a bowler that you would have remembered, the series that I talked about now, where India lost to West Indies in West Indies. That series, Merv Dillon was a West Indies strike bowler, and he was really good in it. But you see, overall his record isn't really that great. Just one 5-wicket haul, and his 94 wickets, 33 is his bowling average. Same for Pedro Collins, very similar, not exceptional record to walk into this 11. Cody Collymore also not much different from them. So that is the reason there is no one really deserving to be in this 11. So that's why I prefer another batsman. And see, Chris Gale's bowling record is not bad to be a fifth or a sixth bowler. 99 matches, 69 wickets. And that is good enough. 5 wicket haul. He can be the second spinner in the team. So 3 pacers we have taken. Kemar Roach, Jason Holder is the all-rounder, and Shannon Gabriel. And the spinner that I'm going to go for is Devendra Bishu. Now, Devendra Bishu's numbers, you would say that I have dropped bowlers like Fidel Edwards and Jerome Taylor out of consideration, but I'm still going for Devendra Bishu. And the reason for that is that you cannot judge a spinner and a fast bowler with the same parameter. For a spin bowler, you always give them a little more leverage in terms of bowling average. And I feel that Devendra Bishu is a quality spinner, and every team should have at least one quality spinner. The other spinner that they're going to have, which is going to be Chris Gale most likely, or Carl Hooper, but Carl Hooper didn't quite bowl a lot. See, 22 matches, 21 wickets, 60s is bowling average, whatever. Chris Gale is going to be your second spinner mostly, but there is Hooper to accompany him as well. You can have a second spinner who's not good enough or great enough, but every team needs one genuine good spinner, and whatever you have to deal with it. And Devendra Bishu is West Indies' best spinner in this 21st century. His numbers are bad, yes, his numbers are bad compared to other spinners maybe, but if you see his wicket tally, it's not that bad. 117 wickets in quite less test matches. If you see, compare that to other bowlers, compare that to other fast bowlers, and the number of test matches that they played. For example, see, Jason Holder played 47 test matches and got 123 wickets, 46 test matches. So see, his wicket tally is actually decent, and he's got 4-5 wicket haul. His bowling best is good, and we have seen Devendra Bishu bowl, and he's a really good spinner who doesn't get a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, his last test match was in 2018. But whatever it is, from all the other options that West Indies had in the 21st century, he's the only better spinner to be playing in this 11. When we need a genuine spinner in all our 11s, at least one genuine spinner. We can have 2 if they are good enough available. So Devendra Bishu is my spinner, and he walks into this 11, and I think we are done with the 11 now. We are gonna write it down, and then we are gonna quickly go to the third 11 as well. So here we go. Chris Gale is gonna open the batting, and he will be the 5th bowler for us, along with Craig Brathwaite, specialist opening batsman. 1 down, Ramresh Sawan averaging 40. Brian Lara at number 4. Carl Hooper at number 5. Shiv Chanderpaul at number 6. Jason Holder at number 7. Ridley Jacobs, the wicketkeeper, at number 8. And the 3 bowlers, Devendra Bishu, the spinner, Kemar Roach, the most experienced fast bowler, and Shannon Gabriel. So there are 2 players who are competing to be the captain of this team. One is obviously Jason Holder, who I think is a very good captain, and what he's done with the team has been good. They have been trying to win, but I think he's created a few good bowlers. The West Indies' current bowling unit, the pace bowling unit, is really very strong. It already has Kemar Roach and Shannon Gabriel. Kemar Roach probably is nearing his retirement now, but Shannon Gabriel is very good, and the young fast bowlers who have come up are decent as well. Jason Holder himself is good. Roston Chase is a bowler that we don't have in the 11, but he's a good all-rounder who bowls off spin as well. So he could be considered, or someone who's more experienced, who was his senior, would be considered, and I'm considering him. It's Carl Hooper. It was that early 2000s period where I think it looked like West Indies is coming back. Under Carl Hooper's captainship, West Indies is coming back. It felt like that. And Shiv Chanderpaul and Carl Hooper and Brian Lara, that I think, and even including Sawan, that is a very strong middle order. A very good pace attack. A decent enough spinner, I would say, in Devendra Bishu, and 2 part-time spinners to help the West Indies out, Chris Gale and Carl Hooper. So I think this is a very strong 11 as well, as was our previous 11. The third 11 that we're going to pick in this video is going to be the Sri Lankan team, which is really very complicated to pick. I'm going to tell you A lot of people are going to be upset, fans of the Sri Lankan team, for missing, because there's some of their favorite players are going to miss out. There's nothing we can do about it. But I'll start with batters and bowlers, and there is no real formula to go with. Again, it's very difficult to create a formula for the Sri Lankan team where we can say that we are going for 5 batters or we are going for 6 batters, whatever. I'm just gonna give you all the options first, and then we're gonna choose. Here we go. So the run scorers: Kumar Sangakkara, averages 58. 58. That is just exceptional for Kumar Sangakkara. He averages 58. This is just mind-boggling. And interestingly, we can know if how much he averages as a non-wicket keeper, and that is very interesting to be seen. Not as a wicket keeper. Let's see that. And he played purely as a batsman. Let's see how much he averages. You see there, 67. God damn it, Kumar Sangakkara, when he's not playing as a wicket keeper, he averages 67, and he scored over 9,000 runs, 31 hundreds. He is the finest batsman of the 21st century. Don't you believe that? I do believe that, and that's why I want to keep him that way. And I'm not gonna make him the wicket keeper of this team. I'm gonna make him play purely as a batsman at one down, Kumar Sangakkara. And I'm going to take away that pressure of wicket keeping, and so that his batting average doesn't go down and he becomes the finest batsman of the 21st century by a distance, because we see Steve Smith averages around 61 or something, and Kumar Sangakkara is much ahead of that as well, and he scored 31 hundreds. That is just exceptional. So Kumar Sangakkara walks in. We're going to remove this filter first. He walks in as a pure batsman. Obviously, Mahela Jayawardene also walks in as a pure batsman. Angelo Matthews also walks in as a pure batsman, but he is a third seaming option for me, because we know Sri Lanka didn't have a lot of great seamers. And so we have to do with him, like we have Chris Gayle as the second spinner for West Indies. We are going to have Angelo Matthews as the third seamer for Sri Lanka. And the reason why I'm creating this balance of at least minimum 3 seamers, and we could have 2 spinners or 1 spinner, or you could have 4 seamers and 1 spinner, but at least minimum 3 seamers, because I'm picking an 11 which can work in any condition, and a default 11 for any condition, I would say, which is a bit of everything, which has a bit of seam friendly pitch in the beginning of the test match, and then it's good for batting, and then there is help for spin bowlers as well. So we are picking an 11 for such conditions which can work all around the cricketing world. So for that we need a third seaming option. And Angelo Matthews, we didn't bowl much, but we know as a bowler how capable he was. He made a choice that he's not gonna bowl a lot for the benefit of the team, because the team required him more as a batsman. But we know he's capable enough. So he's our third seamer as well, and he's also in this team for his batting. So we have picked 3 players. The 4th player that we're picking is Thilan Samravira. I think he's an exceptional cricketer. I remember Thilan Samravira in his ending days. I think he was an exceptional player. And there was a time when Sangakkara was there in the team and he was there in the team. But even more valuable wicket used to be of Samravira. And people who have seen Samravira bat, and they know how difficult it is to get him out. So I think Samravira deserves to be. He's always underrated in any Sri Lankan all-time 11. It's mostly the other players, and that's the point of this 11, that we are focusing clearly on the 21st century, so that the unsung heroes like Thilan Samravira doesn't get ignored. Don't get ignored in this 11 at least. They do get ignored in an all-time 11, but here this is their 11. So Thilan Samravira also walks into this team as a pure batsman. There's Tilak Ratne Dilshan. Now the interesting thing about Tilak Ratne Dilshan, I'll tell you, is that he averages 41 and he scored around over 5,000 runs. But it was very few test matches. It was during his last few years. It was not few years, I would say. He played from 2009, he became an opening batsman. So in the last 3-4 years, he became an opening batsman. So as an opening batsman, he scored fewer runs. So Dilshan, I'm keeping him outside right now. He averages good. He averages 41. But as an opening batsman, he hasn't played much. The most experienced opening batsman for Sri Lanka here in this 21st century is Dimuth Karunaratne. Well, we have seen him 5,000 plus runs, and his batting average is 38. But forget the batting average, we know his importance is exceptional. And for an opening batsman, a batting average of 38 is also pretty strong. And he scored more than 5,000 runs as an opening batsman. So we are going to have Karuna Ratne as our fifth player that we are going to choose. And then this is the difficulty now. There is Sanat Jayasuriya, there is Marwan Attapattu, and down there is somewhere, there is Hashan Tilak Ratne, who averages 54 in 27 test matches that he played. So out of these three players, we can only select one player, and that is a difficult choice to make. Jayasuriya, Attapattu, and Hashan Tilak Ratne, the older ones who didn't play a lot in the 21st century. Jayasuriya did play a lot of ODI cricket in the 21st century, and also Attapattu. But we have to select only one out of these three. And the player that I really want to select is Marwan Attapattu. I think Marwan Attapattu, and I'll tell you why I'm going to select Marwan Attapattu, and I'm going to show you the numbers. I'm going to show you the numbers as a pure opening batsman, and the reason why I'm selecting Dimut Karunaratne ahead of everyone else is because he's the only definitive opening batsman. You see that 5,000 runs as an opening batsman, averaging 39, 12 hundreds, 26 half centuries, and behind him we see the difference. We see the difference there. There is Attapattu and there is Jayasuriya, and the difference is distinct. The difference is clearly visible. Attapattu has 1100s as an opening batsman. Jayasuriya has 6. And I think that says it all. That says it all. And you see the strike rate is different. Yes, Jayasuriya was an aggressive opening batsman. We all know that. But he could have been a slightly more aggressive, and I feel slightly more consistent. But I feel that in test matches you don't always want, you can have someone like Sehwag if you have, but your primary skill should be of playing for longer time and playing for more runs, scoring bigger runs and playing till the end, scoring hundreds, and which is what Attapattu did and Dimut Karunaratne did. They scored hundreds. That is why they are my opening batsmen, Dimut Karunaratne and Attapattu, which means I have to drop Sanat Jayasuriya. I cannot take Jayasuriya, because then if I have to play Jayasuriya, I have to drop either Thilan Samravira. I told you he averages 48 and I don't want to drop him, or I have to drop Angelo Matthews. We can consider dropping Angelo Matthews. Is the reason for that is because maybe Angelo Matthews play, if in the balance of the team, when you have to have 5 genuine batsmen and someone else, then we don't have a position for Angelo Matthews, because we have to push him down the order maybe. So we don't have that choice of making it. And I told you before, I want Sangakkara to play purely as a batsman, which means we have to play a wicketkeeper batsman. So the reason for having Sangakkara as the finest batsman in the world, and to make him play as the finest batsman in the world, I have to drop Sanat Jayasuriya and I have to feature a wicketkeeper batsman. And I think Sanat Jayasuriya can take this rejection very well. He was a great test batsman in the 90s. He was good. He was a terrific ODI batsman. We all know that, but somehow I think in test matches he's gonna let others get an opportunity here. So we are done with our batsmen. We'll also see the runs made as a wicketkeeper batsman. Who is there? We saw that the difference that Sangakkara has in stats as a wicketkeeper and as a non-wicketkeeper. So this is for the openers. So Sangakkara is there. He averages 42 as a wicketkeeper batsman, but again we are not considering Sangakkara as an opening batsman. He scored around 9,000 runs as a pure batsman and only 3,000 as a wicketkeeper batsman. So the other options that we have, we know Chandimal is not a genuine wicketkeeper batsman. He is more of a batsman who keeps. Niroshan Dickwella is a good option, actually, could be considered. But there's Prasanna Jayawardene and there is Niroshan Dickwella, and I think I've seen Prasanna Jayawardene being a very good wicketkeeper. He's a wicketkeeper who kept to Muralidharan and Rangana Herat both, and he played in both of their times, and he was good against both of them. So I think I'm preferring Prasanna Jayawardene as a pure batsman, also because Niroshan Dickwella hasn't scored 100 yet. He has a good strike rate, so I've mostly avoided all the aggressive batters here, if you could notice. But the reason for that is that I think players like Sangakkara, Jayawardene, and Angelo Matthews, they're also aggressive batters once they get going. So I've gone more for players who have more consistency rather than more aggression. I've tried to make this Sri Lankan batting test team a more resilient team rather than a more aggressive team. So I've dropped Tilakratne Dilshan, I've dropped Sanjay Surya, I've dropped Niroshan Dickwella as well. So my wicketkeeper batsman is Prasanna Jayawardene, who kept for Murli and for Rangana Herat as well. Now we're going to select the bowlers. There are only 4 spots for bowlers now. And as I told you, Angelo Matthews is our third seam bowling option. So we have to select only... what am I doing? Okay. So we have to select only 2 seamers now. And we know the 2 obvious spinners. They're going to be Murli and Rangana Herat. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Murli and Rangana Herat. You see Murli's stats, just have a look at them. 493 wickets in 74 test matches. That is just exceptional. Bowling average of 21, 43 5-wicket hauls. But you see that Rangana Herat is also so close. His bowling average is obviously not the same, and his wickets to in matches ratio is also not the same, but still 34 5-wicket haul. That is exceptional. That is also very good from Rangana Herat. So he's a very good spinner, Rangana Herat, and he's mostly underrated. So Murli and Herat both walk into this 11, and Chaminda Vas obviously walks into this 11. And you see, Chaminda Vas is a good enough batsman. He averages 28 with the bat. In the 21st century, he averages more. Overall, his batting average is around 24. But in the 21st century, he averages 28. So he's a good enough batsman to have at number 8. A very strong. So that makes the Sri Lankan batting order very strong, even though we have dropped Sanjay Surya and we have dropped Tilakratne Dilshan and we have gone for a specialist wicketkeeper, and still the batting order is very deep and very strong. Rangana Herat will be batting at number 9 and he averages 15 and has a best of 80. So we're done with 3 bowlers. The 4th bowler, I think, is an easy choice in my opinion. It's Lasith Malinga, 30 matches, 101 wickets, average of 33. The other options could have been... probably there is no one really good enough there, but if we have to consider someone, maybe Sanjay Surya could have been in this team as an all-rounder. But again, I told you we need at least 3 seamers. So if Chaminda Vas and Angelo Matthews, just these 2 of them, we can't go with these 2 of them. We need a 3rd seamer and a genuine seamer. And Matthews is a support seam bowler. We can expect him to bowl, let's say, 8 or 10 overs in a day at max, not more than that. So it's going to be Malinga and Vas. This Delara Fernando, whose numbers are not that good. You see, 38 is his bowling average, 38 test matches, 92 wickets. So yeah, I think we are through with the 11 now. We're going to write it down and we are going to soon end this video. It's a bit long, I know. Dimut Karunaratne is my opening batsman, I told you. More than 5,000 runs as an opening batsman, exceptional record that is, I feel, and he averages around 38, 39. Maravanata Patu, another exceptional opening batsman for Sri Lanka. Kumar Sangakkara, the world's greatest batsman in this century, batting at 1 down purely as a batsman. Mahela Jayawardene, number 4. Thilan Samravira will be my number 5. Angelo Matthews at number 6 will also be my 3rd seam option. I'm not calling him an all-rounder again. I'm just calling him a 3rd seam ball option or the 5th bowler. So very few overs will be expected from him, not as a genuine all-rounder. At number 7, we're having a genuine wicket-keeper, Prasanna Jayawardene. Kept wickets to Murli and Herat both. Chaminda Vas at number 8 is also a bowling all-rounder. So that strengthens the batting. Number 9 is Rangana Herat. Mathaya Muralitharan. And Lasith Malinga. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this 11. Dropping Jai Surya is not going to go well with the fans. I know that. But I just don't see any space. I don't see anyone out of this 11 to go out. Because I think I always believe in test matches, what you do as an opening batsman is very important. Jai Surya could have been considered as an opening batsman plus a bowling option. But Sri Lanka already has 2 exceptional spinners. They have Rangana Herat and Murli. So there is no real need for a 3rd spinner. We are not making a spin-friendly 11. We are making a balanced 11 where we need 2 spinners and we are enough. We're good. 2 spinners are good enough. And we need 3 seamers minimum. and we need a specialist wicketkeeper to give Kumar Sangakkara the edge of being the finest batsman of this century. Because if we make him a wicketkeeper, he's no longer the finest batsman of the century. Remember that. So Sri Lankan fans, if you want Sangakkara to be the best batsman of this century, you have to like this 11. So the captain of this team, I think, is very obvious. We all know Mahela Jayawardene was Sri Lanka's best captain after Arjuna Ranatunga, of course. But Ranatunga didn't play in this century. So yeah, this is the team. This is my team. Karunaratne, Atapattu, Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Samura. It's a very balanced team. Chaminda Was and Malinga to open the bowling, and then two exceptional spinners, and then Angelo Matthews. And if they still need a spinning option, if they need a part-timer, there is still in Samura Veera who could bowl spin. I remember he used to bowl off spin, and I think he started his career as a spin bowler who could bat, Samura Veera, but then became more of a batsman. So I think it's a very strong unit. The West Indies team is also very strong. Both teams look very similarly balanced. They bat very deep. They have a lot of they have some part-time bowling options. They have one good spinner. West Indies has, obviously there's no competition between Sri Lankan spinners and the West Indian spinners, but their pace attack is stronger than the Sri Lankan team. So it's all overall balanced. The batting unit of both these teams are very strong. West Indies is very strong with Lara, Hooper, Chanderpaul. Sri Lanka is exceptionally strong in the middle order with Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Samura Veera, and we know Karunaratne, Atapattu are very good openers. Matthews is an exceptional batsman. At number 6, to have someone like Angelo Matthews is exceptional. So yeah, we are done with this 3 teams, and we are gonna be back. The next video we are gonna pick the South African team, the Pakistani team, and the New Zealand team, and then in the final video we are gonna pick the biggest, the most important teams: the Australian team, the English team, and the Indian team. So tune in for those next 2 videos as well. I will put them in the comment section as soon as they come out as well. So take care.